Mr. Secretary, I want to focus during this time on used nuclear fuel. We've got Senator Murkowski here, who's chairman of the Energy Committee. Senator Feinstein is still here. Senator Murray, I know, is interested in used nuclear fuel because of the Hannaford situation. Federal law says Yucca is. I'm going to ask you a large question and then just ask you to, and then I'm going to listen. Yucca is the current repository. I fully support the current licensing process, but Yucca's legal capacity is 70,000 metric tons of used fuel. We've already have more than that. So we have more than enough used fuel sitting safely at sites around the country, more than enough to fill up Yucca Mountain. So the conclusion we've come to is that whether you're for or against Yucca Mountain, I'm for it, we need new repositories. We also have a small amount of used nuclear fuel from the Navy reactors and submarines, and we have canisters of high-level waste from the Manhattan Project. And you made an announcement yesterday about defense and commercial fuel, which is relevant to this. So it's clear we need new and temporary and permanent storage sites. So in addition to Yucca Mountain, we have the idea of the pilot program, which comes from the commission on which you serve. Senator Feinstein and I will include that in the Energy and Water bill. There is the legislation that we introduced yesterday together for a long-term solution, also based in large part upon the President's Commission recommendations. That's two. Another option that may be available is a private consolidated storage site like the one recently proposed by a group from West Texas who've indicated their interest in filing with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission for an application. What they have said is that they might build a private site in units of 10,000, maybe 5,000 tons, but up to 40,000 tons. So the site would be able to hold about half as much as Yucca Mountain could if it were open. There's $36 billion of money we've collected from electric bills of Americans to pay for all this. The Department of Energy is supposed to be taking title. So I'm trying to get in my mind of these various proposals, which one's likely to come on first. I know Senator Feinstein, for example, would like to get used fuel out of California from closed plants to somewhere else. There's 7 other sites like that around the country. So here are my questions. How realistic is the possibility of an additional private repository? How much do you think the Nuclear Regulatory Commission needs any new authority to license private sites like the one proposed in Texas? Would you need any new authority for the Department of Energy to be able to store used fuel at a private facility? Assume you're taking title and storing it there. And will you work with the subcommittee to give us technical advice on whatever we might do in the appropriations bill that would keep this option on track if it is a real option?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, I completely agree with the inference that you made that we need a comprehensive approach to both spent fuel and to defense waste, and we need to look at storage facilities, repositories, and in the context of yesterday's announcement on defense waste, potentially even other geological disposal pathways. In terms of the timing, I think it's pretty clear, and the administration policy document of January 2013 reinforces the Blue Ribbon Commission report, and I think your all legislation that moving towards a pilot scale storage facility is probably the thing that we could bring on the fastest, 6 to 8 years perhaps. Now, we had always been envisioning that in the context of a federal facility. The Blue Ribbon Commission did and administration policy did. I think this new dynamic by the announcement out of Texas that you referred to is extremely interesting. We want, first of all, we want to learn more about that. With regard to authorities, I think I'm not the best position to talk about NRC, although NRC has worked in some similar areas before. But with regard to our own authorities, I would say that I don't quite know yet what those authorities would be, but I can certainly imagine that, especially for a private sector facility, that a clarification that might come out of the legislative process could be quite desirable, and we are certainly happy to work as often as you would like in terms of discussing the technical aspects of this.
Well, thank you for that. My time is up, but we would, I think, speaking for Senator Feinstein and myself, and I'll let Senator Murkowski speak for herself, we'd be interested in working on that in the next 3 or 4 weeks to see, A, what might appropriately be included in the appropriations bill, if anything, and B, what might need to come before Senator Murkowski's committee to make, with the whole objective, if it is, it sounds to me like you believe the private facility could be a realistic option, then given our desire to find a place to put used nuclear fuel, we need to know what else do we need to do to put you in a position to move that option along. So,
yes.
Senator Murray.